Okay, phase one of our effect is complete. We can apply it to nodes, and it sets all those channels in the node to 100. Now, to extend on that, it would be really nice if we could have the user be able to select whatever level they would like this effect to apply. This type of user interaction gets done using parameters. Now, in our discussion of parameters, we will have to touch a little bit on effect editors. We're not going to go into a ton of detail on effect editors. I am going to make a separate tutorial for that. But when we get to those parts that we need to know information on it, I'll go into a little bit of detail about it. So as far as parameters, let's take a look at the set level effect and describe what happens. Now, the set level effect has two parameters. It has a color parameter and it has a set level parameter. When you double click on the effect, it opens up an effect editor. The parameters are passed to this effects editor. The user can make any changes that they would like, and then when they click OK, the parameters are passed back to the effect, and the effect is once again pre-rendered. So that is basically what we are going to cover within the next couple parts. Our effect will have one parameter. It's just a level type parameter. We just want the user to be able to set the level. And the first thing we need to know about parameters is the data is persisted using a module data class. So once you need the use of parameters, you need to create a module data class. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, go into C#. This is done exactly as it was done in the output module, so it should be more or less a quick refresher on how to create the module data class. Let's add a class, and let's call it effect data. Click add. Okay, the first thing we need to do we need to add a reference to system.runtime.serialization in order to create our data class. So go into .NET and look for system.runtime.serialization. Okay. And then we need to add a couple namespaces. We need to be using that system.runtime.serialization. Okay, we need to use Vixen. We're going to need Vixen.module, and using Vixen.commands known data types. This is so we have access to the level type as we needed before. So the effect data class we need to inherit from module data model base. That is our base class. Go ahead and implement the class. Okay, now we need to give this class an attribute of data contract, and then we need to create our level member and make it public. Public level is the type, and let's just call this level. And we need to have that have an attribute of data member. Okay, and in the clone method, we just need to return member-wise clone as an iModule data model. Oh, I got a little typo there, so let's fix that up. Okay, so that's our entire data class. Next thing we need to do with our data class is we need to make sure our descriptor knows about it. So let's just copy the name of that, go into our descriptor, and we need to do a public override of module data class. In here we will just return the type of our data class. Return type of effect data. Okay, and then lastly in our effect instance class, we need to create a effect data member or object. We can make this private. Effect data. And let's call it underscore effect data. Okay, and once we have that object, we can override the module data member or method. I'm sorry. So let's override public override module data. Again, this was all covered in the output module tutorial, so hopefully it's just a review for you. Now, in the get, we just want to return the object we created, which is effect data. And then in the set, we want to set our effect data equal to our value as effect data. Okay, and our data module class is completely done. So let's stop this here. In the next part, we're going to go a little bit into detail on how effect editors are called.